Sometimes the appearance day of a deity, we say, is their birthday or their appearance day. Well, when Srila Prabhupada glanced in this direction and pointed his cane and said we should have a temple here, that was the conception. The conception of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath.
And their Lordship, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, following the desire of a pure devotee, appeared right at this very spot in this most beautiful forms 3 decades back, so that their devotees, visitors and guests can render so many wonderful services and make progress on the path of bhakti. Over the 3 decades, there have been many veterans, devotees, who have engaged themselves in variety of services to their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was once mentioning that all our preaching, all our projects, our entire community can only grow beautifully and meaningfully when their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Gopinath are pleased. All what we do, he said, is revolving around the pleasure of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. The more they are pleased, not only will we grow in numbers, but we will also grow in quality and will grow deeply in the experience of our bhakti. So let us have a look at this beautiful Seva world of their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Gopinath and how these different devotees and community members, these veterans, have been serving their Lordships in various different devotional, loving ways.
Padasevanam means to rise early in the morning, open the door of temple.
So when we see different elements being used in Gopinath's dressing, you might wonder, there are many things, but there are many things kept at the right place. There are right things, and the right things are kept in the right place in the right time. And all that is done by a dedicated team of Matajis who come daily, who are not seen doing elaborate aartis, but they do their small work as an offering to Gopinath. Some people, some devotees, they come all the way from Meera Road, from Dahisar, coming in those, packed up trains. It's horrifying, but just as an offering to Gopinath, they come, they do their work and blissfully go back without any recognition.
So as we all know that the deities are dressed twice, in the morning as well as in the evening. So there are about between 7, 8, 9 pujaris who come every day in the morning and in the evening to dress the deities. But then the people who remove the jewelry in the morning are different, and the people who keep the jewelry back are different. So obviously, that it is not kept properly. Some things are here, and there's a complete mix-up. So then what we have is, we have a team of devotees who come from different parts of Mumbai every day, Monday to Sunday, non-stop, 365 days. And they come and they arrange all these things, the turban cloth, the chokers, the earrings, everything, whatever you see here. So they come and every day they open, they clean the drawers, they arrange all the jewelry, they fold the turbans, they keep it properly, day in and day out.
Also in the initial days when there was no proper dressmaking department or jewelry making department, all of us girls who were just out of our college and all, we never knew how to make jewelry or dresses. Radhapriya Mataji, who was expert in stitching and jewelry making, she used to invite us to her house, and we used to stay up for days before the festival. And she was such a perfectionist that one bead here and there she would make us remove the whole thing and make it again, because she was also in the same mood like Maharaj, that this is going to go on the deities and it has to be perfect. And we would tell her many times, okay, who's going to see Mataji? This bead is going to come on the back of the necklace of Gopinath. She said, Gopinath will see it, Radharani will see it. So she would make us remove the whole thing and do it again. So those were really the days, because before Janmashtami, before Gaur Purnima, we would stay awake for 2 nights continuously and make these dresses, and like oven fresh, we would just bring the dress right when the deity's altar would close after Mangal Aarti, and the last stitch would have been put, and then the deity would accept the dress.
And that time the dresses were very simple, because we had not taken any training in dress designing. It was just coming from the heart.
Because the dresses were much more simplistic in those days. Now Gopinath has very elaborate and costly dresses, but those days Gopinath was decorated with the devotion of his simple devotees who were just making insignificant attempts.
Most of the time it was last minute, but that also, it was fun.
So after the sudden demise of Gaur Krishna Prabhu and Murli Mohan Prabhu in the Nepal air crash in the year 2012, this deity dress department suddenly came to an halt, where nobody had any clue how this department actually functioned. These two devotees took care so well that no one was actually involved in the making of this dress department. And a big question came in front of us, that how this department will function.
At that time, Gaurang Prabhu started involving a lot of congregation devotees to come forward and contribute in whatever possible way in the making of the dress for the Lordship. Currently, we have 3 main designers who have been designing different outfits.
Having to discuss about what we've done in the recent past, there have been very interesting combinations of darshan which we have created here at Radha Gopinath Mandir. And at the same time, one of the major challenges that we have with the DT dressing, which might be quite surprising for people to know, is that like when you go for your trials and fits of your outfits, you usually have a one inch of loosening or tightening. You know, even if you've given just the right measurement to the tailor, you notice that the outfit is just not fitting you. It's probably running tight. And yes, this is what happens with DT dresses also. It's quite surprising for us to know. We always wonder, is Gopinath reduced his waistline or has he grown fat? What's happened? But yeah, that's the case. You know, we do the same pants which we've been doing for a couple of years now. But for every festival, just before the day, we have to make sure that we have done all the trial and fittings.
Garlands making seva started as soon as the DTs came into this temple. Around 1988. That time we did not have so many devotees to make garlands. A few brahmacharis used to come and make garlands, or sometimes 2-3 Matajis used to come and make garlands.
There are some such silent devotees who have been since decades offering such services to Radha Gopinath that many devotees may not even be knowing about them. And another devotee who has been doing this type of services for Padmavati Mataji. Everybody calls her Fool Sakhi because every night she is the nurse at JJ Hospital. After her hectic schedule, whatever time it becomes, she goes to Dadar market, she brings the flowers, and whatever time in the night it becomes, she makes gajras for all the hands and feet of Gaurnitai, Gopinath and Gopalji. She also makes a Tulsi garland without fail, which Gopalji has been accepting year after year on his body. So this is the love and consistency which the DTs have attracted over the years from so many devotees.
Every day, brahmacharis around 5 o'clock they go to the market, get the flowers. Fresh flowers are brought every day.
डेढ़ किलो टगर ऐसा थोड़ा कम करो ना। ये दो कली में, ये दूसरा दो ना। 100 में दे रहे हो ना? हाँ, 100 रुपए ले लो। कैसे दे रहे हो प्रभु जी? कैसे दे रहे हो? 150 रुपए। अरे यार आप तो टगर का प्राइस मार रहे हो। चाफा कैसे है? चाफा आपके लिए पड़ रहा हूँ 150 रुपए। देते हो ना 10 में? 10 मिलेगा तो मेरे पास पैसा वापस 200 रुपए लगे। 160 भी 160।
ये भगवान की सेवा है। थैंक यू। ये मेरी तरफ से।
We get them by about 7:15 and we start making garlands around 8 o'clock.
was like a Gaur Purnima festival, and afternoon time when deities are resting, I was on altar, putting ladder on Gaur Nitai altar and climbing with both hand garlands on ladder, and suddenly His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was passing from altar, and he saw that I was climbing. I thought he will be happy alone. I am doing, nobody is there around and I am alone doing the services. And then suddenly I saw Maharaj calling me down there. Then I came and he just pulled me out and he told, see, for one festival you are spoiling the altar which is going to last for generations after generations. This is Ananta Shesh, so Balram. We can't spoil this altar for just for one festival, you know. It's a lifetime. So many devotees, generations after generations, the devotees will be attached to this deities and altar. So don't spoil this. It's Ananta Shesh.
So Maharaj instructed the guest reception devotees also that every person who walks into the Radha Gopinath temple is a special guest of honor of Radha Gopinath. So you should treat each one with that importance that he is a personally invited guest of Radha Gopinath.
I recall one incident. This happened I think in 1999, and it was a funny incident that happened. Basically it goes to show how Radha Gopinath ji is giving shelter to so many people who come to them with so many desires, and it's inconceivable how Radha Gopinath ji is giving shelter and giving hope. Once Madhvacharya Prabhu and myself, we were sitting behind the Vyasasana. You see there is a small gap. We can see the devotees in the temple hall from behind the Vyasasana, but people here cannot see us because the gap is very thin. We were sitting inside and 4:30 the darshan opened and there was nobody in the temple hall except the pujari was doing the aarti. So this young couple came in and they were taking darshan very intensely, and then suddenly Madhvacharya Prabhu told me, just see, there's something exciting going to happen now. And we looked through that gap and we saw this couple looking around with fear and anxiety. They were just looking here, there, up, down, and then suddenly this boy picked up a huge garland and then he gave it to her, and then he picked up another garland and he held it in his own hand, and then he put it on her, she put it on him, and then from his pocket he pulled out that sindoor, red thing, and then he put it on her forehead, and then they offered obeisances to the deities. They got up, removed the garlands, put it back on the plastic bag, and again they stood folding their hands as if nothing had happened. So basically it was an instant marriage, one of the fastest marriages that we've ever seen. And then they just kept staring at the deities for maybe another 10 minutes, they were just taking darshan. And slowly people started moving in, and meanwhile both of us were so stunned by this incident, by this instant marriage in the temple hall. And we went out and we told some of the other devotees, you know what happened just now? You see that couple there? They just got married. And the news spread, and the devotee was giving laddus. He also came to know what had happened. And then after 10 minutes, this couple was going back. They had taken their darshan, and they thought nobody had seen because they were the only ones in the temple hall. And then as they were going out, this devotee was giving them laddu. And while giving laddu, he smiled at them and said, "Shadi Mubarak ho."
80 pujaris dressing, an enormous schedule, and everybody has their own touch, and the Lord looks different every time a different devotee dresses. But how is the darshan coming? It all began with organization of Sankirtan Prabhu. He was the one who made sure that the darshan goes to
So it was Radhashtami and we had done fasting till noon, and Maharaj called all the leaders on the terrace around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and after half day fasting, we are all looking forward to breaking the fast, so we were all ready to break the fast. And at that moment Maharaj said, so I see that a lot of neophyte mentality has crept in here, because there is so much of attention to worship the main deities in the altar. But looks like no one is bothered about worshipping devotee. And one of the devotees is Tulsi Maharani. So Maharaj said, today morning during Tulsi Aarti, on the day of Radhashtami, I was standing there and your Pujari is offering Aarti. But the Tulsi Maharani looked as if she is almost dead. And the Pujari is not even noticing. None of you are noticing. All of you are closing your eyes and, praying, Namo, Namo, Tulsi, Krishna, Prayasi. So what kind of consciousness you are? You are all conscious or unconscious? Can't you see what's going on with that Tulsi Maharani? So therefore I have decided that, till something is done about improving the condition of Tulsi Maharani, I am not moving from this place and I am not going to break the fast. Neither are any of you. Some of us said, okay Maharaj, we'll discuss about it. Today is festival day. Give us some time. In a few days we'll have our next meeting. And after we meet, we'll come to a conclusion. It will be taken care. Very, very important what you have said. We agree with you. Blah, blah, blah. Maharaj said, no. Till the decision is made about who is going to take charge. And, that's the time when Gaur Gadadhar Prabhu, his name came up. And then Maharaj really acknowledged that he has really put in his life and soul in taking care of those Tulsi Maharani.
In DT Room, what is more required is consistency of services. The standard has to be maintained. Many things and many paraphernalia is required day in and day out, which has to be got on everyday basis. There are some people who have been doing things so unseen that nobody comes to know. We have a devotee who gets regularly the betel leaf that is required for the Lord. Just comes and gives. He has a business of it, but he makes sure that a particular time these leaves come. A particular number is required throughout the day that he comes and drops in. If he is not there, his wife comes. If his wife is not there, his son comes. But they make sure that the service continues. Similarly, we have the brushing, a very small thing, but that datun, which is used for the brushing of the Lord every morning, that is got by our security devotee.
In beginning days, the kitchen was small and very disorganized. The money which we got as a gift in my marriage, we used all that to set up a proper kitchen, got paraphernalias which I needed for the proper kitchen.
Shri Radha Gopinath, our deities, have an elaborate 6 offerings and 6 aartis. A dedicated team of Matajis, following a dedicated schedule of cuisines and menus.
Cooking for the pleasure of Shri Radha Gopinath actually gives us immense pleasure.
It is like serving the Lord and feeling that innermost divinity that yes, you are privileged. You can do something a little.
We have a modular kitchen
Years back when Radha Gopinath were just installed, devotees didn't know what to do when the Shayan Darshan opened. So they started playing Ustad Bismillah Khal's Shehnai. And after a while they felt, why are we playing the Shehnai recording? So they started singing a Hindi song. Soja, Soja, Soja mere lal Soja, Teri Maiya sulati hai. So in the mood of Yashoda they started singing this song to Krishna so Radha Gopinath can go to bed. And then when His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj heard all of what was happening, he said we better start chanting the holy names and better start having the Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan for their pleasure before they go to bed. And that's how the Shayan Kirtan started, the Hare Krishna Mantra Kirtan started. After the Shayan Kirtan, as the doors close, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopichandra Vallabh, Gaur Nitai and Gopalji take their last offering and go to bed as their devotees gently massage their feet, and after that read the Krishna book. The lights are closed. The Seva world for that day comes to not to a full stop, but comes to a stop for that day until the next morning they wake up again to get ready to open the day, another day of the Seva world for their devotees.